Hey, what's up, Facebook? What's up, brothers? Mike, your mentor, coming in live on this Tuesday night. Just got done playing some basketball, so I'm sweating like crazy. So this is going to be quick because I need to take a shower. So tonight I want to talk to you guys about friendship, and I want you to ask yourself this question, and it's, are you a good friend? Um, just a personal observation. Two things. One, if I think someone once said, or maybe stats or something fancy out there said, if you get to the end of your life and you have two good friends, you're considered extremely lucky. And I think that that's pretty sad. Not that you should have, like 5,000 friends like Facebook, because you can't possibly know that many people on a deep and intimate level. But I definitely think that you should have a good handful of friends. And the question that comes with that then is, how do you get those types of friends? How do you form those deep relationships with other brothers that can do life with you? And I don't mean the kind that maybe you just go, shoot some golf with or go to the bar with and keep it all surface level. I'm talking about guys that will go to war with you, that will uh, tell you the tough things, that will push you to be a better husband, a better father, and a better person. So I think there's three distinct keys to that, and it all starts with, in order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend yourself first. So how do you be a good friend to somebody? First, I think it's you honor your friends, or you honor that other person that you're trying to build a relationship with. Now, that may seem like common sense, right? But there's a saying that goes, common sense is very uncommon today. And it really is, because we want some big, elaborate, complex thing on how to make things happen, when really it's a lot of little simple things that get the job done. So when I say you honor your friends, a good example is, I have a friend who's a really close friend of mine, and we've shared a lot of personal stuff, and my political as well as spiritual and religious views tend to be very more towards the conservative side. Definitely think that I'm open-minded, and I like to learn a lot of new stuff and listen to new theories and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, my leaning is more towards, I guess, that spectrum. So this friend is the complete opposite of that, right? They're, 180 degrees different with the way that they choose to live their life, with the beliefs that they have, and in the natural, looking objectively, or no, looking from the outside, you would think that we could never be friends, right? That we would just bang heads and clash too much. But we have these awesome conversations, these deep conversations, because there's honor there. Like, I honor who he is as a person. I honor what he has to say, what he thinks. That doesn't mean that I agree with him. That doesn't mean I gotta accept the decisions that he makes, and vice versa. But because there is that honor there about who we are as people, and our outlooks on life and our walks on life, it really creates this safe space that allows us to be open and completely honest. And I don't have to be afraid of saying something to him, thinking, oh man, well, he's not going to agree with that, so I may hurt his feelings, I shouldn't say that. It's actually quite the opposite. We can freely speak and not be worried about it, because we know that at the end of the day, that stuff really doesn't matter in terms of our relationship. He respects me enough, and I respect him enough to know that our friendship is more than just who he would vote for, or who I would vote for, or what his certain beliefs are about something versus my certain beliefs are about something. And to be honest with you, maybe if you would have caught me in my younger days, I might not have been mature enough to do that. But, you know, that's the crazy thing about, I guess, getting older and getting wiser. Uh, but it's very contrary to what we find in society today, with media and with people out there trying to split everybody into us versus them type of groups. And it's not us versus them. Last time I checked, if you take any person and you cut them, they bleed the same color that I bleed. And at the end of the day, we're all humans. And we're not going to get to a place that we need to get if we don't have that mutual honor for each other. Secondly, you tell your friends what they need to hear. Now, this goes hand in hand with number one, right? Where there's enough honor in that relationship where you can tell your friend what they need to hear and not necessarily what they want to hear, right? It's objective feedback because you care about that person. You want the best for that person. Now, there's a way to do that. Obviously, you don't want to beat them over the head, or you don't want to smash them in the face with it to judge them and to prove maybe that you're right about something. But you want to point it out to them out of love. You know, have you ever considered this? Have you thought about that? You know, a lot of times it's not what you say, but how you say it. And a good friend will always tell you what you need to hear. And the only example right now that comes to mind personally for me is when I was younger. And I had a really great friend who lived near me. And he was older than me by 4 years. And at that age in life, that's a big difference. You know, and being a boy, I wanted to run with the older boys and hang out with him as much as I could because I looked up to him. And I remember this one distinct time that he was inside and some older boys were outside and we were waiting to go somewhere and do something, and one of them started smoking. And he was taking the cigarette and he kept asking me and kept saying to me, "Come on, man, don't be, you know, a this and don't be a that. Smoke the cigarette." And I was like, "No, man, I don't want to smoke the cigarette. Like, I don't like smoking. My mom smoked when I was growing up. I never really wanted to smoke a cigarette." And he's like, "Come on, dude, it's the cool thing to do, you know, all this peer pressure." And my buddy came out and he basically told me that I didn't, one, he reinforced my belief, right? He's like, "You don't want to smoke cigarettes." And then two, he told this other guy, his friend, to leave me alone and to stop trying to peer pressure me, and that if I wanted to smoke the cigarette, then I'd make the decision to smoke it myself, right? And it was really cool. And we always had that type of relationship where he was always looking out for me and always telling me what I need to hear, not versus maybe what I wanted to hear. You know, because he was a little bit older, he was a little bit wiser, he had been around the block more than me, and you know, we had a relationship where he genuinely was looking out for me and had the best for me in mind, and that's rare, you know, but I don't think that it's rare enough that it can't be fostered. You just have to grow that relationship and build that, and this is part of how you do that. So finally, number three, if you want to be a good friend, and in order to have good friends, you got to give more than you take. I'm sure we can all think of people in our lives that every time we turn around, they want something else, even if it's just something little. And they're always taking more, from the relationship than they're contributing to the relationship. Good friends will want to contribute more to the relationship than they want to get out of the relationship because they understand that it's mutually beneficial for the relationship. And a lot of times, when you find people who are taking more than they're giving, it's one, it's because they probably have scarcity mentality, and they think they're going to miss out on something, so they want to get as much for themselves as they can, and that can be a big red flag. And another reason too is that they could just be insecure in who they are as a person, especially in your teenage years, as you're getting to know yourself and grow and discover who you are. But unfortunately, that's still the case with a lot of adults, and especially as men, we can see that. You just walk in any room where it's time to meet other guys, and we're all asking the same questions. What do you do for a living? Where do you live? Where do you work? And what kind of car do you drive? Or, all these different questions that may seem polite on the outside, but really they're just measuring sticks, right? So we can measure ourselves against them. So those are the three things that I would encourage you tonight. If maybe you're struggling in that area and you don't have good friends that you can turn to, and you don't have deep relationships that inspire you and encourage you to be a better person, to maybe do a little bit of self-reflection and ask yourself these questions. Do you honor your friends and what they have to say and what they think, even if it's complete opposite, stark contrast to who you are and what you may believe? Two, do you tell your friends what they need to hear versus what they want to hear? And then three, probably, if I could put these in order, I'd say one, then three, then two. So number three, do you give more than you take? So that's it for tonight's Tuesday Thoughts with Mike, your mentor. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm all beat up, man. My forehead hurts because I was out in the sun way too long this weekend. My forehead, my nose, my lips. I mean, my face is swollen. So that just made me was irritated more by playing some basketball. So I'm gonna go take the shower and wind down for the night. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for Wednesday Wisdom. Always appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to me. Just share this stuff and hope it's making an impact in your life. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.